Hiking. It makes us feel alive. There's a feeling of exuberance that comes with physically pushing our bodies while experiencing the beauty of the great outdoors. By expending effort to ascend the mountain, climb the boulders, and slide between those branches, we don't just observe nature, we become a part of it. And this experience is only replicated with new hikes, more trails, and greater challenges. While attempting to better understand our hikes, we have discovered a way to share our findings. This is our trail dashboard. Realizing that our hiking efforts were getting more demanding, we wondered three things. What makes a hike difficult or challenging? Why do trails of similar difficulty feel different? How does hiking compare with other strenuous activities? Simply stating that a hike is easy, moderate, or hard falls well short of understanding the dynamics of a hike. I gathered key attributes for each hike that are used to derive 4 difficulty components and eventually an overall difficulty rating. This data is the premise for my trail dashboard. Across the top, we describe the trail and basic attributes. This includes the distance, time, overall elevation gain, peak elevation, and the maximum grade during the steepest half mile. Then we assess 4 difficulty components on a scale of 1 to 5. These components are used to define an overall 10-point difficulty rating. Finally, we added an overall 10-point scenery rating as well. Let us dig deeper into those 4 difficulty components as they tell an important story about each trail. The terrain rating is analogous to classes used by other organizations and sites, with a slight variation since we focus on trails that don't need any special gear. Our rating of 1 represents easy class 1 terrain, while a moderate hike involving careful footwork earns a rating of 2. Our terrain rating of 3 is where rock scrambling begins with the occasional use of hands. A terrain rating of 4 is more rugged, longer stretches requiring handwork, and the assistance of mounted cables or ladders. A rating of 5 is the highest we will encounter without climbing gear, requiring the use of all 4s over unstable and hazardous terrain. The ascent rating uses an algorithm based on 3 factors: the overall elevation gain, the overall steepness, and the grade over the steepest half mile. A rating of 1 indicates a flat trail. A mild incline would result in a rating of 2. Moderate hikes get a rating of 3, while more challenging ascents earn a rating of 4. Finally, a rating of 5 is set aside for your more treacherous uphill treks. The distance rating also uses a formula, albeit a simpler one. A quick hike under 2 miles has a rating of 1. Short hikes under 4 miles earn a rating of 2. Moderate hikes with a rating of 3 run between 4 and 8 miles, while long hikes are between 8 and 12 miles and determine a rating of 4. Finally, any hike over 12 miles is considered an endurance hike with a rating of 5. The anxiety component is subjective, but it's something that makes a hike more difficult for some. A rating of 1 or 2 is reserved for trails with little or no cause for alarm. If the hike gets a little tense with exposure to heights or strenuous activity, it may earn a rating of 3. A daunting hike with exposure to more dangerous heights and activities will result in a rating of 4. Finally, a terrifying rating of 5 is reserved for those hikes with extensive exposure to danger or overly strenuous activity. These 4 components are all fed into yet another formula to come up with an overall difficulty rating. This is on a scale of 1 to 10. This broader scale provides a little more granularity that is not necessary for the individual components. The chart shows how the difficulties range from 1 effortless to 5 moderate to 10 grueling. It also shows how each of these ratings map to the easy, moderate, hard designation you may see with other organizations or tools. The components are needed to tell the full story, but the difficulty meter provides a nice overall picture. Another subjective factor is the overall scenery rating. This is a difficult number to assign and should be used merely as a general indication of the impact the scenery may have on you. Believe me, I understand that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The scale starts at 1, but almost all of our hikes will be in the upper half of this chart. We assess the quantity, impactfulness, and exposure of significant features to help us come up with a number from 1 to 10. Now that we have explained the trail dashboard and its attributes, there is one point of usefulness that all this data brings: a means to compare different hikes. This helps us answer the question, why do hikes of similar difficulty feel so different? This year we will be delivering top 5 content that uses this data to compare hikes with a common thread. The data will be presented with a graph like the one here. We can see that the terrain and anxiety earned the Grandfather Trail a difficulty rating of 9, exhausting. We can also see that both Rock Castle Gorge and Table Rock Trail are rated 7, strenuous, and both have a sense to be reckoned with. The Rock Castle Gorge, however, is longer distance, while the Table Rock has more challenging terrain. This data delivers a wealth of comparative information. We have one last question regarding how hiking compares to other strenuous activities. For this, we looked at the physical energy required, which is measured in calories. I used a variety of websites with different perspectives to summarize caloric requirements for several demanding activities. I compared these to 2 of our more recent and challenging day hikes: Grandfather Mountain via the Profile Trail and the Doughton Recreation Area Loop off the Blue Ridge Parkway. Caloric requirements are estimated for a 180-pound man. For hiking, I assumed I carried a 15 to 20-pound pack, a typical load for snacks, water, clothing, as well as video, photo, and hiking equipment. Here is the energy expended for a variety of strenuous activities. First, we have a 10K run. 850 calories will be burned. An 18-mile walk will burn 1,750 calories. A half marathon run, 13 miles, will burn 1,850 calories. The first triathlon, Olympic sized, 1 mile swim, 25-mile bike ride, and 6-mile run. About 3 hours to complete, 2,250 calories. A longer walk, 24 miles, 2,300 calories. If you run a marathon, take about 4 hours, 3,650 calories. Here's our first hike, Grandfather Mountain. Via the Profile Trail, 2,900 feet of elevation gain, 7 hours, 10 miles, 4,200 calories. Half Ironman Triathlon. This is longer distances, about 6 hours, 4,600 calories. This is our more recent hike, Doughton Loop, 3,500 feet of elevation gain. We had 8 hours of moving time, 18 miles, 4,700 calories. We hope you found this video both interesting and informative. We also hope it helps you understand our trail dashboards and comparisons as we create more content. Through video and analysis, we hope this helps you understand what hikes pique your interest and which are right for you. Thanks for being a part of our journey. Thanks for watching. We hope this gets you excited about getting out and exploring on your own. Click to the right to subscribe. Click to the left for more adventures.